What is up, DW Nation? It's your boy, Asante Grundy from the Disciples of Wrestling, giving you guys the Monday Night Raw recap. There's a lot of action that happened last night, and there were a lot of pretty good matches, so let's get into it. So the show first starts off with Triple H making a huge announcement, but Randy Orton, he comes in and he intervenes. So Mandy's main purpose, he wants that WWE Championship. I mean, I don't blame him. He just lost it, but at the same time, he's got to earn it. But so he tells Triple H like, "Hey, you're the head honcho. I want the WWE Championship. Make it happen for me." And then Triple H was like, "Not so fast, man. If you want the championship, you gotta enter in the Royal Rumble and you gotta win." So Randy Orton, we know he doesn't care. He's gonna do whatever he wants. But he was like, "Hey, I don't care what you have to say. I'm gonna do me." And Triple H, I'm wondering if you still got it, implying that if Triple H can still wrestle or not. And Triple H, he was kind of confused at first, but then Randy was like, "Yeah, you heard what I said, pretty much. Do you still got it?" So they both get in each other's faces and they start bickering a little. And then Randy gives him a little nudge, and then Triple H retaliates and smacks him. And then out of the ring, they do a stare down, and I don't know, are we getting a little snippet of Triple H versus Randy Orton? Only we'll see about that, but I enjoyed the segment. This was a pretty good one, and I'm wondering if Triple H still got it. So we'll see what happens later on. So next up, we have an interview with Sarah Schreiber and Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte is confused on why Lacey Evans has been flirting with Charlotte Flair's dad, Ric Flair, and Charlotte, her comments were, "Hey Lacey, I'm wondering why you're flirting with him, but you're so classless, and I'm gonna make you into a lady." So then again, Sarah conducts another interview with Lacey Evans, and Lacey was like, "Hey, I'm actually infatuated with your dad. I mean, you see how great of a man he is, and just calm down, Charlotte." And she's like, "I'm gonna dedicate this match to Ric Flair because I'm infatuated with him." And this is a little preview of what we get before their match that happens later on. But Lacey Evans and Ric Flair, though, like, ugh, gross. So next up, we have an announcement from Drew McIntyre, the WWE Champion. If no one has read or heard, Drew has tested positive for COVID-19, so he's going to be isolated for some time. But he just basically mentions that, "Hey, take this virus seriously, guys. This virus isn't a joke." But he also accepts Goldberg's challenge on their match for the WWE Championship. Yes, I said Goldberg, right? But if no one has seen, last week Goldberg made an appearance on Drew McIntyre, and pretty much he wants to challenge Drew for his belt. And to last night, what we got, Drew was like, "Hey, I accept your challenge." So we're getting Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. And my thoughts on this is, Goldberg, you need to sit your butt down somewhere. Like, you already had a great career. You don't need to, you don't, well, like, what you doing back here, bro? Like, sit down somewhere. Like, nah. So next up, we have a pretty good match with Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair. And this match would have been better had it not been interfered by Ric Flair. But they both had put on a good show, but the match was decent, and I'll tell you why. So during the middle of the match, they both gained some momentum. They both display some slams. Charlotte's looking good at one point, then Lacey's looking good at one point. But then, as Charlotte goes for the pin on Lacey, Ric Flair puts Lacey Evans' leg on the rope and he distracts the ref by saying, hey, her leg is on the rope. So the ref breaks the count, and then Charlotte is not happy. Obviously, I don't blame her. But then Charlotte, she starts questioning her dad and stuff and says, like, hey, get out of here. You're not needed. But then Ric Flair, he trips Charlotte, costing her the match, and while Lacey's on top, she gets the pin and she gets the win. But yeah, this was, like I said, it would have been a better match had Ric Flair not interfered, because Lacey and Charlotte can both wrestle, but darn Nature Boy he just had to do something. But Lacey gets the win, and she walks off with Ric Flair. Yeah. Next up, we have an interview with Charlie Caruso and Keith Lee, and but then Keith Lee gets interrupted by Sheamus. You would think Sheamus is here to cause a confrontation, but that's not the case. Sheamus actually goes on to tell Keith, like, hey, I have respect for you, and they dap each other up and stuff. But then they get interrupted by Miz and Morrison, and Miz and Morrison are taking jabs at Keith and Sheamus and stuff like that. But then they challenge Keith and Sheamus to a match later on, and they both of the guys, all of them, they just start bickering. And this was just a small little segment. I thought it was a pretty cool segment. I thought Sheamus was just going to come in there and just be a savage, but that wasn't the case. So he definitely caught me by surprise. But yeah, this sets up for a match later on, which I'm going to talk about. So after that, we have a match between Jeff Hardy and Jackson Ryker, and pretty much Jeff loses this match as it was a quick one. Jackson Ryker pretty much dominates Jeff, and he gets the win. But then Elias appears, and Jeff Hardy calls out Elias. So Jeff Hardy has another match, and he goes back to back. So now it's Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Now, this match was better, and it was a little longer, as Elias gained some momentum on Jeff Hardy. He got some good hits and slams in. But then Jeff Hardy, he's the one who came out on top at the end by delivering a twist of fate, then a swanton bomb for the win. And Jeff Hardy looked a lot better during this match, because him against Ryker made Jeff Hardy look silly. So, but pretty decent match. Didn't wow me too much. This was one of my least favorite matches on the show between both matches I'm talking about. But it was solid, but it didn't move me. So after that, we have a match with Keith Lee and Sheamus versus Miz and Morrison. And this was a pretty good match. Both teams had momentum, and Keith and Sheamus are trying to develop that chemistry together in the ring, but Miz and Morrison, they already have their chemistry down packed since they're already a tag team. And for the night, it's just Sheamus and Keith Lee. So how this occurs is that during the match, Keith Lee smacks down Morrison, and then he poses and taunts on him. But then he gets tagged in by Sheamus, and Sheamus delivers a brogue kick on Morrison, allowing Sheamus and Keith Lee to get the win. And this was a good match. Like I said, it made it better because of Miz and Morrison's chemistry, but Keith and Sheamus working together for the night, that was pretty good, and I was a fan of this match. So next up, we have an interview with Triple H, and Triple H was like, his main reason why he was there last night, he wanted to take care of business. He wasn't there to have a fight or anything. But on top of that, he accepts Randy Orton's challenge, and he challenges Randy Orton later on in the night for the main event. And Triple H was like, I dedicate this match to every legend, especially the ones that you caused havoc to within the past months. And pretty much your grandfather, Randy, and your father paved the way for you in this industry. So you better respect that, and you better be lucky that you had a father figure and a grandfather who were in this industry as well. So I mean, Triple H ain't wrong about that. So, yeah, Triple H versus Randy later on tonight. We'll see how that pans out. So, after Miz and Morrison versus Keith Lee and Sheamus, Keith Lee and Sheamus actually get in a small little scuffle, which sets up for a match between each other. So, it's Keith Lee versus Sheamus. And this was my favorite match of the night. This was a really good one. Keith Lee, he comes out on top on this one by attacking Sheamus's arm and trying to hurt his injured arm, which was smart by Keith Lee. That's smart wrestling IQ right there. So Sheamus attempts the brogue kick, but he misses. So then Keith Lee comes in and he delivers a spirit bomb to Sheamus to get the win. And then after the match, they dap each other up and they show class. And this was a really good match. Very talented wrestlers. Even though Keith Lee had the high end on this one, he pretty much the one who stood out in this match. Sheamus is still a great talent, and this was a good match. I didn't have any problems with this match at all. So, next up, we have the United States Championship between Bobby Lashley and Matt Riddle. And poor Matt Riddle, he gets the brakes beaten off of him during this match as Bobby Lashley just gives Matt the work. And Matt had a little small burst of momentum as he got a few hits in on Bobby, but it wasn't enough as Bobby gives Matt Riddle the full Nelson, his signature move, and Matt Riddle taps out. So after that, Matt Riddle says, hey, MVP, I can beat you. I may not can beat Bobby Lashley, but I can beat you. So MVP was like, what? You want to face me? All right, let's see what you got. So now we get MVP versus Matt Riddle. And pretty much this match, it was meh because Matt Riddle, he wasn't 100% because he just got the brakes beaten off of him by Bobby Lashley. But they both had okay performances. MVP he didn't really stand out either. But like I said, it was a meh match. But Matt, as he stands from the turnbuckle and attempts a slam on MVP while on the ground, Bobby Lashley interferes and he just starts giving Matt Riddle the work again. So the match ends in an interference pretty much because of Bobby Lashley. But poor Matt Riddle, he just got the brakes beaten off of him. I like Matt Riddle. I'm a big Matt Riddle fan, but yeah, this wasn't his night. So, up next, we have a match between AJ Styles and Drew Gulak. And the thing about AJ Styles, he can make any wrestler, any opponent he goes up against look really good. And Drew Gulak looked good on this one. But this match was mainly dominated by AJ Styles as he's the far better talent than Drew Gulak. He delivers a phenomenal elbow on Drew Gulak and he gets the win. Drew Gulak had some offense in, but not too much, as pretty much AJ and with the little help from his assistant too, pretty much helped AJ get the win. So, I mean, even though it was dominated by AJ, Drew Gulak, he ain't too bad of a wrestler. So after that, we have a small little segment from Keith Lee and Triple H. And pretty much Keith Lee was like, hey, I want to get my hands on Randy Orton as well, Triple H. Let me help you out. But Triple H was like, no, I got this. Thank you, though. But this segment was mainly about how they both wanted to get their hands on Randy Orton, but Triple H pretty much he gets that opportunity to do it later on. But you could just see the respect Keith Lee has for Triple H as he likes Triple H, and Triple H is just regurgitating it back like, he has respect for Keith Lee as well. So just a small little segment just talking about Randy Orton. Next up, we have a women's tag team match between Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. And this was a pretty good dominant match by Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Dana and Mandy had some burst of offense, more Mandy pretty much, because she got a few hits in on Shayna Baszler. But it wasn't enough for Mandy and Dana to get the win, as Shayna and Nia, they just dominated them both throughout the whole match. But I didn't enjoy it. It was Shayna and Nia are the far better wrestlers than Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose, but this match didn't really move me. So, the final segment of the night, we have Randy Orton versus The Game, the Cerebral Assassin, Triple H. And this match was great at the start as they both were heavy hitting. Randy gets an elbow on Triple H. Triple H starts hitting and punishing Randy. And this was a heavy hitting big brute fight between two brutes. I guess Triple H still got it in him because he looked pretty good during this match, especially against a Randy Orton who's in his prime right now. But then the lights go dark and then, everybody's like, hey, what the heck? What's going on? So Triple H disappears, but Randy Orton is still in the ring. But Alexa Bliss appears and she approaches Randy Orton. So they have a little stare down. Randy's perplexed and everything. But then as Alexa gets closer to Randy, she shoots out a fireball at Randy, and Randy is in pain and he's grimacing as pretty much Alexa just shot fire in Randy's face. And that was wild. It was a crazy main event, but I enjoyed it all pretty much. I was a fan of it all. Alexa ain't have to do my boy Randy like that, but I enjoyed it. It was a good main event. So that concludes the Monday Night Raw recap. I'm Asante Grundy from the Disciples of Wrestling, and stay tuned for more content. And I just want to thank you guys for watching and tuning in to us, me, Kevin, and Jordan. We really appreciate you guys. And just stay tuned for more content because we got so much planned out and we have a lot of stuff we want to give you. So thank you guys for watching, and I love you guys. Take care.